When you think over the past year, are you thinking how much you enjoy the masks, the lockdowns, sharing the house with everyone? Yeah, I didn't think so. We industrial engineers at RIT are working very hard to try and make sure it never happens again. You know what was it that made it all start getting better? The vaccine! And vaccines in general are actually a pretty cheap way to remain healthy. Vaccines have completely erased one disease from the face of the earth and also prevent 3 million deaths every year. Problem is, one disease isn't enough. The reason why we haven't erased more is that not all countries have an easy time getting vaccines. And as long as a disease can spread in one country, there's always a chance it will surface as well in other places. This is true not only to the diseases that already exist, but also to any new disease that can surface at any time. So how do we make the vaccines get everywhere? Through engineering and mathematics, of course. We can calculate ways to get vaccines to the places that they need to be in the right amount of doses and also with the right prices that the countries can afford and that also make profits for the manufacturers too. Here at RIT, we're using a process called optimization to represent the entire vaccine market as mathematical equations. With that, we can calculate the best possible quantities that go to each country with the best possible prices, an optimal solution. For now, we have focused on the vaccines that are given to children, but the process that we created can be applied to any new vaccines that come up, including the ones from COVID-19. Here is what we have so far. If countries are not willing to work together to get the vaccines, then the best way to make sure the poor countries can get those vaccines is for them to negotiate first with the manufacturers. This way, they can obtain better prices that work for them and for the manufacturers. If the countries are willing to work together though, it is good to have both the rich countries and the poor countries working together. Also, if the countries could, instead of buying each vaccine separately, buy a group of vaccines all together with a single payment to the manufacturer of those vaccines, they can also get more savings and make it easier for the manufacturer to get their profits. There is less uncertainty. And now we are trying to find a way to define fairness for the vaccine market and see how that fairness could affect the negotiation process. And now that we know that vaccines can save us from a disaster like COVID-19, it will be good to be able to distribute those everywhere before the next pandemic happens. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you learned something and also what RIT is doing to help save the world, and I hope you have luck finding other good videos here at Imagine RIT. See you next time!